Realtree's Midwest Whitetail is brought to you by Cuddyback, Drake Non-Typical, Easton Arrows, Frigid Forage, Fuse, Grizzly Coolers, Hoyt, Ozonics, Redneck Blinds, Wasp Archery, and Realtree.
Welcome to Midwest Whitetail. Today is December 21st and I'm out again on my uncle's farm and hunting over that same bean field that we were in last week. Saw a lot of good deer, probably close to 35 deer that night, and one being a pretty nice 10-pointer. It's a deer that we haven't had any prior years of history with, but at the time I wasn't really sure if he was going to be a shooter or not, but after I re-looked through the footage on a little bigger screen, it looks like to me, I'm pretty confident he's a mature deer, so he's going to be a deer that we'd be happy to take tonight. We actually got in the plot with 5 deer already in the plot, so the fact that we were able to sneak in is a good feeling, and still about another hour and a half left to light, so action could pick up, and I'm really hoping we get a chance at a mature buck. This will probably be my last time out shotgun hunting for the year, so stick with us. Hopefully the action continues. He just had like a perfect broadside shot. Looking at him side to side, those two deer look identical. Yeah, he did. Body-wise, he doesn't look like he has a curved belly right now. No, I would say, hopefully they're definitely not more than 3.
He's got a split.
Yeah, well, it's not really technically even a split. It's kind of like a weird. It's like a nub. We're already up to, I think, 22 deer now in this bean field. Just pretty crazy the amount of deer we're seeing. 2 of those are pretty nice bucks. Not shooters, but really nice young deer. I wasn't expecting to see this much deer tonight, but I know Bill talks about it quite a bit, but when it comes to this late season, really any weather change is going to produce some movement. So that certainly holds true tonight. We're up to 22 deer in the plot right now, and can actually see more deer working in, so stick with us. The action's picking up even more. Remember that buck? Is it broke or like a weird?
I can't tell.
Growth. There's a group of deer straight ahead.
I don't know which one you're looking at. Over here, a ways away. I can't tell what it is.
Well, we were able to find that doe. I was able to shoot. She went about probably 100 yards and fell over. Didn't get footage of her falling down just because I was using muzzleloader and had a lot of smoke after the shot. But a great mature doe, and the hunt overall was just, I mean, truly an awesome hunt. I think Jason and I have never really seen that much deer on the hoof on one night. I would say we had to have been close to around 70 deer total that we saw. But we saw some good bucks. Unfortunately, none of them were mature. There was one that had a wound on its neck that I debated for a while, but based on how it's acting, it seemed like it was doing pretty well. It didn't seem to be struggling, so I'm hoping that that deer will make it through to next year. It was a pretty nice buck, and then a lot of nice up and coming deer, but like I said, nothing mature. That 10-pointer unfortunately didn't make an appearance tonight, but overall, just an awesome hunt. Couldn't ask for a better way to end my 2019 season. So thanks for watching Midwest Whitetail, the Heartland.
Welcome back to Midwest Whitetail, the Heartland Show. It is December 26th, and thought I'd just give you guys a little bit of an update on my late season plans here. You know, down at my home farm, I was hunting a deer during first shotgun season. I called him the Old 8. He's a 5.5-year-old 8-point, and my plans were to hunt him going into this late season muzzleloader. Started getting him on a little bit of a pattern after this second season finished up here about a week ago, and I actually had him daylight on the 20th at 8:30 in the morning, and he'd kind of shrunk in his core area to this little bedding area on the north side of our farm, and so I thought I had a pretty good chance of shooting him in that area. So I actually went down this morning to check cameras on the Cuddy Link, and unfortunately I'm about 95% sure that deer has shed both his sides. He was in there last night at 5:30 on one of my scrape trees, and he was actually working that scrape tree without antlers, and his body looks exactly like him, big mature 5.5-year-old deer. And like I said, I'm pretty sure that's him. So that kind of scratches my late season plans for that farm as far as me hunting. What I might try and do is get my nephew Donovan out on that farm. There is another 4-year-old 10-point. He's not very big. He hasn't been very big, but he'd be a sweet deer for Donovan to go ahead and try and shoot. He's been fairly regular in there, not so much on a pattern after shotgun season, but I mean, that can change. Hopefully we got a little bit of a cold front rolling through here today and then into early next week. So maybe that'll get him up moving and I can get him patterned back on. But so that's kind of it for that farm. But as far as me, you know, me and Caleb went out about a week ago and put out cameras on some of his farms, and he's been out checking a few of them. So we're gonna our plan is at the moment, I'm gonna be filming him through late season till hopefully he can kill one, and then I'll try and pick up one of the deer that I can maybe get on that I've had pictures of earlier in the season. I'm gonna have to move some cameras back out. I moved most of my cameras down to Caleb's farm, so since those deer aren't on the ground that I usually hunt, I might move some cameras off of there onto some of the other farms I've been hunting this year and see if I can pick up another mature deer to go after this late season. But it's gonna be fairly warm. Weather's not quite ideal, but I mean, we're gonna roll with the punches, take what we can get, and hopefully we can get a deer or two down here this late season.